All right, good afternoon. This is my first social disorder video, and I got a light to cover, so we might as well get into it. First thing I'm going to talk about is Trump's tariffs. Trump's tariffs have been wreaking havoc on the U.S. economic system, from high gas prices to high eggs. Everybody who voted for him, that's on y'all. But to be truthful of the matter, the people who didn't think it would hurt them the most were mainly his constituents, from farmers to fashion designers to tech. Everything is discombobulated. And we will go into tech real quick. Elon Musk has lost over $200 billion since aligning himself. And why is he not arrested? He's not. He wasn't duly elected, and he's making crazy changes that the United States government is allowing. He should be arrested. And the fact that he's an illegal immigrant. So let's not get that. But Trump's tariffs have wreaked complete havoc on the economy. And we're not going to talk about international diplomacy. He went after Canada, Mexico, and China. Really, really bad. Especially when our main exports are coming from both Mexico and China. And speaking of China, he's literally gotten the three biggest haters to actually come together and go after him because of this tariff situation. Love it or hate it, this is on them. This is on all the Trump supporters. And getting on Trump and tariffs, let's talk about Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore has been making banger news since 2022. From the successful coup he attempted it to removing any signs of foreign colonialism in his country, to starting his own refinery and bumping up farmer production in his land. But not just him. The leaders of Mali and Burkina Faso are also, not Burkina Faso, Burkina Faso, I mean, Mali and Niger have also followed those leads. But Niger was the first one to actually start the coup, if you want to do it a timeline wise. But with these three, they created the AES, which is Allied Sahelian States, which Africa really, really needed. I mean, if you look at their history and all of their countries, they've been having nothing but puppet governments since the 1900s. This was duly needed, and they're doing a good job. Almost to the fact that Senegal and Chad have also aligned themselves with the AES. No one has talked about that, but there has been major news. Even when the Senegalese president met with Macron, giving people the image that he was with Macron, just to come right back and align himself with the AES. Ever since then, he is doing his best to wipe everything foreign from Senegal. And we're not going to talk about Chad. Chad had everybody side-eyeing the hell out of him. But the Chad president went back behind Macron and started doing the same thing. Not to as big a degree. And with that being said, that's also caused major problems when it comes to the Congo. Rwanda, being the third party manager of the Congo unofficially, has had a lot of people wondering if the AES is going to go over there and take care of that. Right now, what they're doing, taking care of their own countries and strengthening themselves and pretty much, I won't say democratizing, because they haven't gotten there yet. But they also, they've governmental withholding of resources. With the government withholding of resources and really starting to crank up production statewide within their country, has really pissed off all European and Western powers, which a lot of Black Americans are like saying, good on them. Which brings us to General Langley. General Langley, in past United States hearing, has thrown so much dirt on Ibrahim Traore. Not the leader of Mali, not the leader of Niger. No, Ibrahim Traore, because he's the most outspoken. And because of social media, he hasn't been able to pretty much to spin the narrative as they wanted, which again is pissing off the Western powers. And by all means, no black person in America, maybe a few, and we already know who they are really with the United States government. I mean, to literally lie to us to our face, to the American government, just because you want their resources and they're not giving you. They literally took their ball and kicked you out the home. They didn't go home. They kicked you out the home. They kicked the U.S. out the home. And you want to get mad about it. It's an evil world out here. Next on the list in local celebrity news, a couple of things have been popping off and been taking over the airways the last couple of weeks. Starting with Shannon Sharpe and his $50 million civil lawsuit with the OnlyFans model, Gabby. No one really cares about her last name, but this OF this OF creator, along with Shannon Sharpe, have had a consensual relationship for a number of months. Actually, a couple of years to be quite honest. And according to transcripts brought to by not only the lawyers of Gabby, but also Shannon Sharpe, this was a consensual relationship that they both got into. Now, with certain documentations and recordings, is making Shannon Sharpe seem like he's an abusive boyfriend, which was never the case. I don't have the transcript pulled up right now, but from what I've heard from other sources, it gets pretty spicy. So much for that PG rating. To the point to where it is now getting really, really dirty. The lawyer for Miss Gabby is Tony Busby. Now, if that name sounds familiar, he's been in multiple cases dealing with other two prominent celebrity personalities. One being JC, the other being P. Diddy. Both of those cases got dropped. Now he's after Shannon Sharpe. And what makes this even more suspicious is the fact that Shannon Sharpe was about to sign a $100 million deal with Disney. Well, actually a Disney subsidiary, ESPN. And right when that deal was announced, a few days later, Gabby sent a $50 million civil lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe. Pretty much knowing that this is just a giant cash grab. And the fact that Tony Busby, who was the male version of Gloria Albright, look her up, they're trying to cash in on this. The problem is, Shannon Sharpe has been getting scrutinized in the media for he can't say infidelity because he's not married, but for his personal bedtime relations, which is very hypocritical. Everything was consensual, everything was above board. But if the transcripts, this Gabby person has been trying to get to Shannon's pockets through his pants. And it never worked. Did he pay her? Yes, he did. But it was also for a non-disclosure agreement too that was worth $10 million. More information is coming out on that as we speak. But boy, it's getting too hard. It's getting too hard to cover up dirt nowadays. Last but not least, the silent boycotts of major retail stores, as well as the exposure of high-end brands, has caused a stir in retail markets. Louis Vuitton has lost money. Gucci has lost money. A lot of people are losing money. One, because of Trump's tariffs. And because of that, China went on a propaganda campaign confirming what every fucking red-blooded American and red-blooded black American has known for decades, is that China is literally making all the goods. I know a couple of females personally who sells off-brand purses. Same quality, same look and appeal. They just get it from the source. I live in Fayetteville, North Carolina. There are a bunch of warehouses owned by Chinese manufacturers and Chinese warehouse owners where they sell them wholesale. This is nothing new, but the simple fact that China went on record to say that the brands that come from like Italy or France are literally all made in China, transported to Europe so they can put their little branding in it, and then sent all over the world. That has literally leveled, not even say leveled the playing field, just leveled the fashion brand markets. Fashion influencers are now panicking because all their brand deals are sinking, not because they did anything, but because the brands themselves are losing money, which is having a bunch of us Black Americans rolling on the floor laughing. And speaking of major retailers, Target, Walmart, and a bunch of others are losing their ever-loving mind. Target has gone on record in recent articles begging Black Americans to come back and shop with them, all because they decided to jump headfirst in rolling back DEI initiatives. Now, DEI initiatives were put into place to pretty much spread equity across the board. Men, women, homosexuals, all that other stuff. But when data had came out showing that DEI would pejoratively helped mainly white female Americans in the past 3 months, you have seen a bunch of white women lose their jobs. Bunch of would be high officials have been fired because of it. But not only that, because of that, Black Americans have said, you don't want our business, we don't want to spend our money. And companies have been losing money ever since. I mean, just recently, 2 weeks ago, about a month ago, they were talking about how Elon was selling Teslas in front of the White House. That's how much money he lost. A woman on Threads said it the best. You cannot tell me that this administration is not run by crackheads and heroin addicts, because they're doing everything in their power what we would consider a usual crackhead to do. They selling everything. They begging on their knees. They stealing from their mamas. Like, they're going crazy. As of now, it's only been 4 months into Trump's second term, and the world has already not even the world, the U.S. has the highest amount of inflation, lowest job market, prices going through the roof. Their economic strategies have literally decimated a bunch of big businesses. They've lost all credit. They lost almost all credibility around the world. And people are clowning USA. Like, they're just clowning them. But as of right now, that is the news. I'll catch you in the next one. Like, share, and subscribe. And remember, there's always order in chaos.